How we doing, boys? Now, I'll admit, this title was a little bit clickbaity. Why, wanting to be rich will keep you poor. But there's a lot of truth to it. And a lot of people, when they're broke, when they're first starting out, they get caught up in needing to get rich, needing to change their situation, so much need that what they actually want is drawn away from them rather than to them. And before I get into the science of this video and what really makes it work, it's important to understand that this doesn't make sense logically. This is going to be, a mindset shifter. This is going to change the way you think about success, because most people, if you don't know about energy, if you don't know about the law of attraction, they just think that the harder you work, the more you want something, blah, 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 the more likely you're going to get it. And on paper, this sounds good, but the people who understand the things that aren't on that piece of paper, the people who know how to think outside the box, they understand energy, they understand vibration, they understand how to attract things to them, those are the people that get rich, and specifically the ones who get rich quickly. So, why will needing or wanting to get rich keep you poor? Well, how the law of attraction works, which is 100% real, basically says that your thoughts lead to your reality, which lead to your outcome, and then this repeats, right? Your outcome as in your real day-to-day reality. So, if you want to change your actual reality, your thoughts start with it, right? Everything stems from your thoughts. You gotta have positive thoughts, you gotta believe in yourself, all that stuff, but you can't need something. That leads to your actions, which leads to your reality, aka your circumstances. So if you need something, right, like you really, really need to get rich, all you're telling your subconscious and the universe is that you don't have it. And the number one key to getting rich and to attracting the things you want into your life is by not needing it and already acting like you have it. This is where people mess up, because people need things. They'll say, I need that, I gotta have this. I'm not gonna be happy until I have this or this. But the only way to become a millionaire is to be a millionaire now. The only way to make a ton of money is to act like you're already making that money, because how you act, how you move, your energy is going to line up with your reality. So the people who already act like they're rich, they already move with confidence, they already have that aura about them because they believe so much in themselves that they will become rich. Those are the people who become successful. But the people who are like, oh, I'm only going to be happy when I make this much money, I'm only going to be happy once I have whatever, 100K a month, I'm going to be miserable and lock myself in my room until I get rich. That is a vicious repeating cycle where you won't become rich. And trust me, this is something I struggle with as well, because I'm a workaholic. I like to put in so much work, and you can still have this mindset while working hard, but it's hard for me sometimes to disconnect and realize, okay, it's better to not work so hard on something and act like I need it and go relentlessly, and instead to kind of disconnect, know I'm going to get what I want, and just let it be. And there's a funny thing about this. It seems like the less work I do, like if I have a day where I really don't do much, I always make more money. It's so weird. And I really believe it's because I'm so disconnected. I'm not even thinking about the work. I don't need anything. I don't need to get this done. I don't need to make this much money. I don't need any of that. That everything, the money, all the stuff just comes attracted to me naturally. But you can still work hard. That's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to explain to you why you shouldn't need things you should already be. So if you need something, right, like I said, you're telling your subconscious and the universe that you don't have it. The key is to visualize what you want, right? And I'm not huge into manifestation. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you don't have to do any work and you're just going to sit and meditate and you're going to get everything you wanted. No, that's BS. But you need to do the hard work along with these things so that you're doing your hard work for a reason. You can attract what you want. But if you're telling your subconscious you need something, you're also telling it that you don't have it. And the key is to already act like you have it, is to be now. In order to become something, you need to be now. Those are the first two letters. It's an easy way to remember it. So how would you act if you were rich? How would you act if you had all the money you wanted? How would you act if you were in the shape you wanted? How would you act if you've already achieved your goals, right? You need to think and linger in those thoughts, right? Linger in that feeling. If being rich, having everything you want, how would you move? How would you dress? How would you speak? How nice would you be to people? Would you give back to your family? Would you give to homeless people? How hard would you work? How fulfilled would you be? All of these things are exactly what you need to do now before you've achieved the goals. Because if you're acting the same, you're going to get what you want. Your reality is going to catch up. You're already acting on that frequency. How are you going to make $1 million if you're acting on the frequency of someone who makes $2,000 a month? You're not. So obviously you can't do exactly what a millionaire does, right? You can't buy a Ferrari cash. You can't, just go to Cabo for 6 months and do all that stuff. Obviously you can't do that, but there's a ton of little things you can do. Everything that isn't strictly about money, you can do right now. You can walk around with confidence. Confidence is the big one, but you can walk around with confidence, right? You can work harder because you already have the money. So if you're already rich, of course you'd be encouraged to work. You're making a ton of money, right? It's easy. So you can work harder. You can walk around with confidence. You can have that energy about yourself. You can be nicer to people. You can move like you've already achieved everything you've ever wanted. And this was the key to my success. Because even though I'm at a way more advanced stage now than I was when I started to actually make money about 2.5 years ago, once I was making 5-10K a month, my baseline, because I only had part-time jobs, was like 1K a month. And I'd always wanted to be an entrepreneur and make money on my own. So I was so basically high off the fact that I was making 5-10K a month that I didn't even need more. Do I have goals? Do I want to achieve more and more? And did I at that time want to make $1 million a month? Of course, but it wasn't a need. Like, I was so confident in myself that I already believed it's going to happen in the future. And I knew that I should just enjoy the journey and, basically take in what's happening to me. I'm building a business and I'm making money. And because my primary focus was just on my day-to-day tasks, and I was so ecstatic and grateful for the life I was given, like actually making 5-10K a month online, that all I had to do was keep working on it, and I scaled my business without even trying, basically, without needing to. And if you can genuinely believe that you're going to achieve everything you want in the future, your need and your stress goes away. So you need to build up so much confidence in yourself that you genuinely believe that your future self has already accomplished everything you've ever wanted. I do all right now, right? I make like 70 to 100K a month for my sports content business consistently, and I want to scale, but it's not a need because I know that I do the right actions every day. I work hard every day. I don't miss days, which is super important. And I know that the future me has already got, the dream house in the Amalfi Coast, the 3 cribs across the world, right? The LaFerrari I want, the 20 supercars. Like, I already genuinely believe that the future version of me has accomplished these things. So if you genuinely believe that, your stress goes away. And now to the universe and to your subconscious, you don't have a need anymore. You genuinely believe you deserve it. You believe you already have it. Reality just hasn't caught up yet. So if you want to be rich, you need to visualize right now, what do I want? If I want to be rich, how will I feel once I get this $1 million in the bank? How will I feel? How will I move? How will I dress? How will my lifestyle be? And you need to act as close as you possibly can to that person right now. And like I said, everything that isn't tangible, everything that isn't directly correlated with purchases or how much money you have, you can do right now with the confidence, your energy, your work ethic, your charisma. You can act like that person now. And I promise you, once you start doing that and you work hard on getting rid of that need of all the things you want, that is when things are attracted to you. And it's amazing how much and how easily you can do this once you become a little bit successful. This is only hard at the start because, of course, if you're going from 0 to 1, broke to 5-10K a month, you really do need that money. Like, that's your mindset. So it's harder to disconnect from that. But for me, making 70 to 100K a month, I'm living my dream life. Do I want more? Yes, but it's easy for me to be like, you know what? I'm so grateful for this. This is all I need. Like, I'll get more in the future, of course, but I don't need anything else. I just linger in this feeling and this feeling of gratefulness, right? So I work every day, but there's no urgency. There's no need. There's no desperation. Am I so stressed with things that come along? Of course I am. But I know as soon as I get some perspective and think about it, that there's no urgency in my life anymore. Like, I do all the right actions every day, and I'm so freed from the stress, from the need of all the other materialistic things, since I've already went through all that I can genuinely just focus on my work and live a peaceful life and still get all the things I want, because since I don't need them, they're automatically attracted to me. And I'm already acting on the frequency of what I would do if I had 20 million in the bank, right? Because I wake up, I do my work, I try to read as much as I can, but mainly I wake up, do my work, I go to the gym, drive in the sunshine. I'm about to go do that right after this. I talk to people in my community, teach people how to make their lives better, get them rich. That's super fulfilling.
do some more work, maybe watch a movie, hang out with some friends, and go to sleep. Like, that is the dream life. And I was doing that when I was making 10K a month. Now, instead of a BMW, I have whatever, a McLaren. And instead of, you know, just living in my mom's basement, hanging out with friends, now I have a cool high rise, right? But overall, it's the same thing. I don't need any more. Like, if I have 20 mil in the bank, I'll have the same routine. It'll just be a LaFerrari instead of a McLaren. You know what I mean? So life doesn't really change that much. And the point is, even if you don't have the money yet, you can design your lifestyle in a way where you're basically doing the same things you're gonna do when you're rich. And if you're doing that, you're gonna feel rich. You're gonna be on that frequency. You're gonna act like the person you wanna become. You're gonna be now, and that is when you are gonna become the person you want. So if there's one thing to take away from this video, I know some of this stuff can be confusing, but if there is one thing you need to understand in this video, is you don't need to need things. You can't need things. You need to be now. You need to act like you've already achieved everything you've already wanted. And once you start acting on that frequency, that is the same time you will get everything you wanted. So I appreciate you guys watching this video. This is definitely one of the most valuable ones I've posted on my channel. If you don't know this, you're probably not going to go far in business. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you want to learn from me one-on-one how I got rich and how you can too with sports content, I'm gonna leave a free 15-minute training below. I've built up a community over the last year and a half teaching exactly how I got rich. It's called Sports Creator Academy. We have 60 members. It's very close-knit and it's very one-on-one. I teach exactly how to build a sports page and how to monetize a sports page, how I've made almost $2 million now at 20 years old over the last 2.5 years. And the best part is you can join if you have the right mindset only. The best part is we don't have any losers in there. We don't have people in there who are like, oh, I'll try this out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. No, the best part is that every single person in there is a hustler and they're ready to take over the industry. That is why you have to go through an application process. So if you're serious about changing your life, you want to get crazy results. I mean, our best guy last year, fantasy football Sav, Chad Slavinsky, made 70 grand in a month in his first year with sports content. And on his page in December, fantasy football MI Ryan made 75K in his first year and bought his dream car, an AMG Wall in college, working an hour a day. So if you want to get results like that, check out the free training. A quick gist of how the business works. We're affiliates for the best betting apps in the world: Underdog, Prize Picks, Chalkboard, Sleeper. They pay ridiculous commissions. So if you get like a $10 deposit with your promo code, you will get $75 to $100 from each app. It's the only business on the planet where you can get 10x or 1,000% margins like that. So what I've crafted and basically constructed, you know, mastered over the last few years is how to build a viral sports page, because the more people that see our content, obviously the more money we're going to make. So that is how Sav was able to make 70 grand in a month. He used the content systems we teach. He had a video go for 1.2 million views. He got 400 signups off that, and 400 off $100 CPA is 40 grand off one video. And then over the whole month, he made about 70. So if you want to learn how to do that, get rich talking about sports, working 1 to 2 hours a day, click the free training below. And then lastly, guys, subscribe to the channel. All I post on here is every single thing I've learned going from zero to a millionaire at just 19 years old. I'm 20 now, but that's when I hit those numbers. So I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next one.